First word when I think of Nat, crazy, loco.
Jackie is super chill and super calm.
We basically feed off each other's energy.
People always think we're related or we're like sisters or something.
One of my friends actually thought that we were a couple, but Nat is the straightest person I know.
Jackie keeps cramping my style.
Nat always has like 20 ideas running around her head. It's like sheep just running everywhere.
Then I guess that makes Jackie the shepherd, because she'll just like herd all the ideas into the right rabbit hole and tell me which one to go down.
When Circuit Breaker started, Nat was freaking out.
Yeah, I'm used to meeting people like 3 or 4 times a week, so then when I found out I couldn't meet anyone, I was just like, what do I do?
Nat is not very good at like just staying still, sitting down and not doing anything.
And the worst thing you can tell me to do is nothing, because it's like my worst nightmare. But Jackie is the opposite.
I don't care, I mean, I like staying at home. I like this time. I love this time.
The best advice Jackie gave me during Circuit Breaker was...
Embrace this slowdown.
During the Circuit Breaker, we really learned a lot of things. We learned solo Lindy Hop, dancing.
I started learning how to cook.
And we also did our casual Friday Zoom showdowns. We would just choose a theme, and then each of us has to come up with our own homemade DIY costume, and then you just appear on Friday fully dressed in the costume. I don't think we were ignoring the situation outside. What we just tried to do was like make the most out of the restrictions that were imposed upon us. The Home for All campaign started when someone we had worked with before sent us a message asking if we had time to work on this campaign. Home for All is an initiative to help raise money for migrant workers affected during the pandemic.
We always wanted to do something during this Circuit Breaker to kind of help, but we really didn't know how, and the only thing we could do is just to illustrate, and like when this opportunity comes, we just took it.
I think before Circuit Breaker, whenever we would work, we always worked on the same piece of paper, so whenever we shared ideas, they would just all spill onto the same page. So it's kind of like cake batter. But then during Circuit Breaker, we had to talk to each other remotely through the screen, so the steps had to be very defined.
It's basically like kueh lapis.
Yeah, you just add one layer on top of the other. So I would draw something and then hand it to Jackie.
And then I'll like add on to it and I'll just pass it back to her until we get like the perfect and tastiest kueh lapis. We didn't expect like people to have such a positive reaction to the illustration.
We won't try and be like heroes or anything like that. We were just using the skills that we knew in order to contribute to like a bigger cause.
When we draw, we kind of want people to like stop and think and just get a new perspective. Illustration actually really brings me joy. I hope it kind of shows in our work and people feel the same way when they see it. Giving back does not have to look a certain way, and you can just do whatever you can within your own capacity.
Okay, try it with your foot.
What?
During Circuit Breaker, I realized like how much we took our chemistry for granted, because having Jackie here across from me all the time, I could just show her a sketch and be like, hey, you know what I mean? And she'd be like, yeah, of course I know what you mean. But then when we had to work through Zoom, I had to like navigate through showing her on the webcam this tiny sketch and be like, do you understand? Do you know what I mean? You know? And then Jackie would just say,
I don't know.
cut this. We kept the same kind of energy that we usually work with.
Circuit Breaker didn't break us, so like we kind of like kept our sense of humor.
Yeah. Even though we were working apart, we were like, okay, how do we make the best out of this situation? And then it was kind of like training with ankle weights, because then like when we came back to the studio,
Yeah, it's like suddenly we just like sprinting around the table and just like, I'm done already, like lunch break.
Our biggest fear is that people realize that we're just having fun while doing work. If we always talk about like doing the right thing, then we have to couple it also with like...
You like do the right thing and have fun along the way.